Hello. Today we are going to solve the problem of the date of LeetCode. And yeah, this problem is asking for the longest substring containing an even number of vowels. And yeah, for this, initially it could look a bit complicated, but we only need to think about the following. We will have 5 vowels, like we have in the alphabet 5 vowels, and we only need to maintain the count of vowels, but only regarding its parity. For instance, if the number of vowels, let's say A, is 3, instead of storing 3, we can store like 1, and if this number is 4, we can store 0. In that way, we could know that a substring contains an even number of A's if the remaining against 2, is the following. For that reason, it makes sense to only store like the remainder regarding to 2. To be more clear, for instance, let's say that we have this example, and if we count the number of A's, will be that the count. But if we store only like the remainder regarding 2, we will have 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. And we will know that the substrings with even number of letter A's will be the substring that is between 2 indexes that has the same remainder, right? For instance, in this case, this is a substring with even number of A's, and we also need to take in account that these indexes like include 3 numbers, but at the end we don't count the last one. For that reason, we have like 2 A's. The same for this, 0 and 0, and then we see 2 A's here. Now we are going to extend this idea to 5 vowels. And how can we do that? We can use the idea of creating a number with these 5 vowels, because we can have like a number of, let's say, 5 digits, and each of these digits represents the remainder against 2 for each vowel. The first position will be for A, the second for E, and following that. In that way, we can like create a number that tell us what is the amount of even vowels, or the amount of vowels. Basically, this hash will represent the amount of vowels, but only its remainder against 2. In that way, if we have 2 reminders that are the same, that means that we have an even number of vowels in that substring. It's basically extending this from 1 dimension to 5 dimensions. And how are we doing that? Basically using a number of 5 digits and 1 digit per each vowel. Now we are going to start the implementation, because we know that we only need to have these hashes, and after that we have these hashes, we can simply traverse the array, finding for the first occurrence of each hash and the last occurrence of each hash. In that way, for that particular hash, we will have the largest substring. Then after of finding the largest substring for each hash, we can have the answer of the problem. Let's create a value with the length. Then let's compute the hashes, but for that we also need to use a structure that allows us to basically map between vowels and their index. Let's choose an unordered map with char and int. vowels. Let's initialize this. Now we can also have an auxiliary vector that allows us to have the real, the number of vowels. Let's call it vowel counter. But this vowel counter at the end will be converted to a hash, like to a real number, because yeah, let's see in the implementation. Initially we have 0 of each vowel. Then let's create another vector. Let's call it hashes, and because I am going to consider like the beginning of the string as a separate position, like the beginning but without counting the first letter, I am going to initialize with the length +1. Then we can iterate the string. If the current letter is not a vowel, then we can basically reuse the previous hash, because our hash will only change if the number of vowels has changed. Okay, then let's increase our vowel counter. But because it's only important for us, the reminder against 2. And then let's create the current hash. Let's store the new hash. Then now it's time to find the first occurrence of each hash and the last occurrence of each hash. Okay, now it's time to basically compare the lengths for each of the hash to get the absolute maximum or the largest. Okay, let's test. Okay, let's solve the issues. Okay, it says 0, but let's see. Let's debug a bit. Okay, this looks correct. Yeah, the error is here because this only needs to be done when the hash value has not been initialized. And the same for this one. Yes, now the answer is 13. That is correct. Let's continue with the other tests. Correct. Correct. Okay, then let's send it. Let's see. Let's submit. Okay, yeah, the explanation, I hope that the explanation was clear. If you have any question, please let me know in the comments. See you.